Yo, what up? Welcome back to another episode
Episode
two.
two.
Episode
bro.
two,
Episode
man.
two.
The heart of the father. Yo,
Yes,
listen.
sir.
Yeah. I was just laughing at you, bro. Like, listen.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Here
Like,
we go.
people already was talking about like they was favoring you. So I
Of course.
gotta so they was favoring you with the steam versus hey, I got a lineup today. Look at that.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
you see
Yeah,
that?
I see you. I
Hey,
see.
it's looking a little Anthony Hamiltish, you know what I
But
mean?
it's good, bro. It's
You know what I
good.
mean? But
Mine ain't yeah, mine. I did mine today.
you did yours today?
Yeah, I did mine today. You see that, boy?
Yo, but my question is like, yo, you got a hat.
Yeah, bro. I'm wearing
Yeah,
the hat today.
why
You know, when you don't get that cut, the lining don't be right, man. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to get on the show with my lining, so I had to, put the hat on.
Okay.
And what's crazy is that I got another little secret that I do. My barber put me on to this secret. So I used to have dreads. For those that don't know me, yeah, I
You
used to have
did.
dreads.
I forgot
Yeah,
about
bro.
that, bro.
They
You
was
did.
draping. I was doing it before Lil Wayne was doing it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to school people on this. But, because of that, 14, 15 years of wearing locks, I started thinning out a little bit. So
Oh.
I got some stuff. Yeah, man. So I got some stuff they use at the barber. It's called magic fiber. I don't know if you
Whoa.
can see that.
Yo.
Bro,
That,
bro,
like,
let me see
poof.
if I get it to work on my camera.
Yes, I see.
Bro, let me see if I get it. Magic fiber, bro. It's
Yo, move it
life-changing.
move it over to your right
Is
a
it-
little bit.
what is-
There you go.
what
Right
is
there.
it?
Right
Is it
there. Yes.
Bruh, let me tell you, this changes the game. So let me, bro,
Yo.
let me show you what you gotta do. Cause I be trying to put brothers on. You ain't gotta live a life. You can't see it, but I be in the bathroom and I just push it up like this where my lining is, bro. Get my lining together.
Show
and
me.
You just.
Oh my God. So that boy come out, Chris. So if I wanted
Bro.
some, you know what? The next time we come
Yes.
on, bro, I am gonna give me a line. I haven't had a line in years. I don't know. I don't know the last time I had a line, man.
Bro, magic fiber, bro. It's life changing.
Oh my gosh, bro.
But I can't be in the rain with it though, because if I get in the rain, it's just gonna drizzle down.
So it's like mascara, like when they like don't cry, it's like that mascara.
Yeah, man.
That
my
is
barber,
funny.
He puts it on. He gets some oil sheen, and then he blow dries it, and then I just have to navigate. So if I'm taking a shower, I just I try not to get that part wet.
I love it. I love it. Listen, I be telling my wife like, yo, y'all go through so much, but yo,
Man.
you putting me up on game, bruh.
Trying to tell you.
So
Trying to tell you.
that is good. That is good. I did see some dude some years ago where he forgot that he made one, and he was like on his LL, like he was on like my man was like this, and he rubbed.
He's rubbed it off.
Yeah, bro. So I guess that's the key, is that you can't forget that you have it on.
No, you can't forget, and I'm real careful. I be out here in the public, so you got to know how to finesse the look. So,
yeah, I love it, man.
It's all about that, bro.
Black Joy Revolution. Does that say Black Joy is? What is that? What is that?
Oh yeah. Black Joy is revolutionary.
I love it.
Yes, man. Yeah,
I
Black
love
Joy
it,
is
yo.
revolutionary, man.
I love it.
I think it's just important to recognize the importance of emotions, and that our joy is just as important. And I think I did a video one time where I was dancing, and somebody responded to the video like, it really feels good to see a black man dancing and smiling in a world where we often don't see black men often in that space, and I was like, man.
Was it the beard? Because I dance a lot. I do
Oh yeah,
dance a
you
lot.
know what,
I
bro?
do
So
dance a
let's
lot.
talk about
And
that,
I
bro.
never got that. So I think it's
I
the
don't
beard. And
I
maybe you
don't
probably
dance a
just
lot
don't
though.
dance a lot.
I don't dance a lot. But
Okay.
speaking of that, bro, you do dance a lot. You got there's a, like a what's the music you be dancing to,
Oh,
man? I
house
don't know.
music, bruh.
Is
Like
it house
house music.
music?
House music, bruh. House music
Okay.
all day. All
Yeah.
day. You listen, you gotta get this work. When it comes to house music, if I
Okay.
hear a inkling of like some house music come on anywhere, I'm stopping what I'm doing. And everybody in the vicinity is going to get that work.
I see. I
Everybody.
see. I see.
Everybody. It's not negotiable. I don't care where we are. You're
Okay.
going to get that work. And if you don't want
So
to see me gyrate, don't put on house music.
okay. So there might be a host of people that don't know what house music is or what it sounds like. So we might have to have an episode, bro, where you throw the house music on and give us like some, I don't know, some shoulder move,
Bro,
you
bro,
know, some of that.
man, listen, we may not have an episode. If I put house music on, I don't know if
We
we'll
ain't
be
gonna
able
get
to
to it,
concentrate.
bro.
Bro, like
Come
that gives me like straight up like I mean honestly like for real one night me and my wife was in we was in the room we was just chilling bro and one of my friends hit me up and they was like yo I heard this song and it made me think of you and bro they sent
on.
me a link to some house music. I was like this ain't right.
Wow.
This ain't
Okay.
right. And when they did that, bro, I was sleepy. I was in the bed, and I'm like, you shouldn't have did that. And so because you just did that, let me see. I might even. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
I don't even know if you can hear that. Can you hear that?
I can't hear it. Ah, oh, I just heard it. Yeah, we can't hear it, but we can
Hear
see
it?
it. We
I
can't
gotta
hear it, but we can.
listen. All right.
Okay, so
Okay. All right.
we gotta. That's what we gotta do.
We
We
gotta we
gotta.
gotta do. We gotta make sure we get this. We gotta make sure we make this a
Yeah,
part
man.
of it.
Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen you dancing. I was like, oh, okay, he got some moves out here in these streets.
Yeah,
So
it's okay. Yeah, we gonna
yeah,
do that. I'm gonna put some house music on next time, and that's what
okay,
we're gonna do. We gonna start the episode with me doing some house music. I don't know if I'm gonna
let's
dance because
do
I
it.
don't know if they ready for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We might have to. That might have to be episode 10 or something.
yeah, okay. I love it. You're a mess, man. So yo,
so so
did you?
Sean, let's get into a hot topic that's been I guess it's been all over the internet, man. The video has gone viral. It's
Yes.
about a group of fathers, and I think it's in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Yep.
called Dads on Duty. And these, I think it's like 40 men, 40 fathers. After a week of violence in, I can't think of the name of the high school,
Yep.
Southwood High School or something like that
Yep.
in Shreveport. There was a week of violence, police involved, fighting throughout the school, and all of a sudden, I'm assuming all of a sudden that a group of men who happen to be fathers, 40 men at that, decided
40
they were going
strong,
to go
bro.
into the school
40 strong.
and do something different. And I just wanted to do like maybe talk a little bit about it, but just shout those brothers out because I love it. I'm not surprised. So it's surprising to me how people are surprised about the idea that brothers, fathers could go into a space and create safety. Like in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is not a phenomenon. This
But
is this is reality. This is what
listen,
happens when
listen,
fathers come
man.
together.
Listen, man, I've been telling, I've talked to a couple of schools and tried to work with some schools about making impact. And I
Yeah,
tell them, man, is that listen, my motto for Involved Dad, bro, is strong fathers create strong families, and
I
strong
agree.
families create strong communities. So I'm telling you, if you get some strong men, fathers
Yep,
to step up, they not only impact their home, but bruh, they impact the community.
Yes.
And a lot of times, man, they're people, organizations, the government, they're throwing money at the problem and
Yeah.
not the solution, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well,
people know
everything.
how to talk. People know how to talk that talk, but
Yeah.
they don't know how to walk that walk, bro. And I'm saying, if you want to impact the community,
Yeah.
you build up some men. You
Yeah.
you build up some strong fathers.
Yeah.
They don't have to start off strong,
Yeah.
but you build up some men that are willing,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm not even talking about the men that have the skill set. I'm talking about the ones who have the will set.
Yeah.
If they have the will set, bruh, we can train them and they will go into a school, into a community, and they will wreak havoc in a
Yeah.
good way.
And the thing is that what I find surprising the most is that so much of the work that we do is centered around it must be evidence based, proven. It must have a level of 2 to 3 research based. It has to be master degree,
Yes.
PhD. And I'm
Yes.
like, yo, if we just go back to the center of it is that fathers matter. The work that they do, their hearts. I mean, here we are talking about the heart of a father.
Yep.
And so, it's not surprising to me that you get a group of men together and get them in a school and they are laughing and
They
they're holding
laughing.
kids accountable. They're shaking their hands. They're encouraging them from one class to the next. In my mind, I'm like, yo, that's what I did with my kids. That's what I know other fathers do with theirs. So, I love it and I'm excited for the brothers, the chapters that will be developed from it.
Yep.
But like you and I, we have been in this game. We have been doing this work from the ground up, and we have been saying to people, if you put fathers in the right space, let them have the opportunity to do what they do best, they
Absolutely.
will do just exactly what dads on duty is doing. So
Just
congratulations, brothers, to
absolutely.
what you're doing out there. Absolutely.
Congratulations to them, man. If you
Yeah.
just put fathers, just give them a seat at the table, right?
Yeah.
Just give them a seat at the table. And a lot of times, man, because and if I be all honest, man, is that a lot of times the men who have the desire may not be degreed or
Yeah.
don't know how to articulate his words
Yeah.
and come up with all the data point and things of that nature. They're
Yeah.
pushed off, right? They're pushed off, like,
Yeah.
you don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. But when it took something like this, so I know now people from all around the world are going to be like, oh, we need that in our school. But
Yeah.
we've been yelling that from the rooftops
Yeah.
forever. But I'm not tripping.
No,
I'm
no.
not
I'm
tripping.
glad it's visible. I'm excited for what these brothers are doing, and I'm looking forward to developing and having a chapter right here in my community,
Absolutely.
because it's necessary. And I think that sometimes, and this is just how it always goes too, sometimes it takes something to happen outside of your community for other people to be like, oh, yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that.
Yes.
But I think the kids are evidence that when you put guys and men in a space and that those men are healthy and they're safe, um, the world can be looked at a little differently. And so when I saw the videos and I'm reading the reports, I'm like, yeah, surprised. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
shocked that everybody else seems to be
Yeah,
surprised.
like, oh, it's almost like when you look at the Bible, when people get crazy and go
Mm-hmm.
nuts because Jesus opened up blind eyes or people get healed. I'm like, yo, that's normal Christianity.
Yeah.
Like, people going nuts because you seeing these supernatural miracles. I'm like, yo, that's supposed to happen. Like,
Yeah.
that's normal Chris. You're a freak or abnormal if it's not happening
Yeah.
because it was supposed. That's a whole nother story. All right, leave it.
Yeah.
I'll leave that
No,
alone. I'll leave that alone. Stop it. But I'm
we
just
we
saying that.
gonna we gonna get into it.
I'll just leave that alone. But yo, I hit you up earlier, man, when we were talking
Yes,
about
sir.
a segment today, and I think it's important, man. And I proposed this question to some other dads before about can you be a good um, husband, or can you be a good father and not a good husband, or vice versa. And
Yeah.
and I just wanted to tap into this, Cole, about the importance and the impact that we may have as fathers and as men on our families, more than
Yeah.
we even know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people or men understand the impact that they have on their children, male and female, when they're engaging with their significant other,
Yeah.
wife or girlfriend, however, whatever that title is.
Right.
I just think it matters. And, and I just wanted to talk about that aspect of it is about men engaging their significant others or their partners in the impact of it. And, and I'm curious to hear we didn't prep this, so I'm curious to hear your take on this.
So here we go, right?
Yes, sir.
I think from my personal experience, man. So we'll just start from my personal experience, and then
Okay.
we'll branch out a little bit. I think it starts with the relationship or how the two people can meet and connect. I'll start off by saying I was a young dad. I mean, I was 16, she was 16. We didn't have any real role models around how you communicate with the parent of your child. There was no, at the time, this was in 1994, 95. There were, in our minds at least, we didn't know that there were books that we could possibly read, nor that we have healthy examples of like men and women living together and communicating with each other effectively or not effectively. What we often saw in terms of my experience as a young boy being impressionable by the men that were involved in my mother's life was more so a level of violence. And so I
Mm,
often saw men communicating with my mother with their fist, or if it wasn't with their fist, it was out, I would say, anger and sort of lashing out at my mom, which led to me sort of carrying that kind of experience too and wanting to always protect her. And so when I became a father, I think I kind of mirrored some of that. Not so I wasn't violent. I wasn't, hitting my son's mother or talking to her aggressively or angry. What I saw myself doing in terms of communicating with her was completely just shutting down.
mm.
So there was no verbal communication between her and I. I just didn't
But
know
but
what to say or
but
how to
why
say
were
it,
you
but it was
shutting?
my control.
Let me ask you, like, why were you shutting down? Were you shutting down because you didn't like conflict, or were you shutting down because you were afraid of responding the way you responding the same way that you saw the man respond? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both. It was because again, I didn't know how to express myself, right? So the feelings and stuff like dormant. And so when it would come out, it would just be explosive. And so for me, it was much easier just to not have the conflict, just to not deal with it, but ignore it, and just kind of, I operated out of the eggshell kind of concept where you get mad, you don't say nothing, and everybody walks around on eggshells in the hopes that they'll come back to you and sort of you have to communicate. They'll have to communicate with you to get you to talking. And I think my situation became really different when I became a dad and was raising him on my own. And that whole idea of co-parenting, uh, we didn't do that at all. There was no co-parenting, and so I discovered that I didn't know how to parent him with her. And I didn't have a language, nor did I say to her I needed help. I just did it because the messages that I received as a father was like, you don't ask for help anyway. And you
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't take the mother of your child to go get any assistance or child support. So you do it, you try to do it to the best of your ability, and then you don't ask for help. And I'll tell you something, man, that changed my life when my son turned 18 and his mother sat with me and she said something really profound. She was like, I didn't feel like I could parent him because you did it so well. You made it seem like you didn't even need me.
Mm.
And I was like, well, what? And when I reflect back on it, I never told her I needed her. I never said I needed your help. I just expected that she knew that I needed her and that she didn't step up. And so I held on to that. You didn't step up. I didn't tell you I needed your support. You're supposed to know you need to step up, that kind of concept. So here I am walking around with this anger, this resentment, Not only that, brother, but I was resentful of her because I was the 24-hour parent. So I was
Wow.
the parent that was with all the time, where I saw her being able to kind of, you know,
Yeah.
parent in a way, not that non-custodial role. And I was like, ooh, I don't, oh, she
Yo,
don't,
you know,
so all that
yeah,
was
yo,
wrapped
so
in.
that's crazy, right? Like, I appreciate you sharing that because my thing is, I can only imagine how many women are doing the same thing, right? Trying to act like everything is all good to save face for their partner. Like, yo, I don't need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But really, they need them, and so sometime like that dad, or that partner is just like, yo, well, you doing fine without me, so you straight. But really, that person is not. They may be struggling. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And so I think, like we have to be honest, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And I think people should understand and know that we both have to own it, both sides, right?
yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
unfair, to act like everything is good, knowing that that person on the outside, they may be struggling, right? Like,
Right,
I mean, they already, like, most of the time, I ain't talking about the ones who just like, yo, F it, I'm out of here.
right.
But those ones who's like teeter tottering, they may be struggling because they like, yo, I don't know how to fit in. Maybe it's easier just for me not to be there. So I
Yeah,
won't have to confuse things. Right.
yeah,
I mean, so the thing about it is that I think that that partner, the one who is the custodial parent, listening to you, um, is that they need to um, consider being as honest or vulnerable as they can, right? To um, allow that non-custodial parent to help and play a role. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because like you said, like, your child's mom is just like, yo, I just didn't think you needed my help, so I was straight. So I'm quite sure she struggled. And no
Oh
no
yeah,
telling, no telling if the family now is
yeah.
involved, right? The family involved, and they kicking his back in or her back in, and they're like, yo, why am I gonna come around if I already know if I come around, they're looking at me sideways, and
Absolutely.
nobody wants to be judged.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to be ostracized and talked
yeah,
about. So what happens? They just like, yo, I just don't go around there because it's
yeah,
too painful to deal with that part, of it. So yeah, man. So that, I
yeah,
mean, so what you saying that, I think it's, if you, it sounds like we're saying the same thing,
yeah,
Cole, that it matters on how we engage with our significant other. So I'm curious with
yeah,
you, right?
yeah.
Is that, how did you, and be as honest as you can,
Absolutely.
because this is the part that people are dealing with, right? Because you have the mom or the dad who have custodial, who has, control of the child or whatever the case,
Yeah,
and they are treating that other person the same way, and the person who doesn't have control may be frustrated, they're treating that mom or dad a certain way, and that
yeah.
child is stuck in the middle.
Absolutely.
So it's important on what we do. So
Yeah,
I'm curious, as you
yeah.
being one who was in control, were you a good example on how you treat your significant other?
I don't think I was. I don't think I was, and one of the reasons why I don't think I was is because I was so stubborn and bent on the resentment side of the
Mm,
relationship that I didn't hold space for her to be able to come in and feel safe enough. Here
wow.
I am with 24 hours access to him, and I know him really well because I'm raising him, I'm watching him, I'm with him most of the time. But yet I didn't hold space to help her really learn what I learned from watching him. I could have done things better. I could have sent her information about what was going on in the school.
Because at the end of the
I
day,
could have I
because
could
at
have
the end
told
of the
her
day,
that.
because at the end of the day, your son needed that piece, right? He needed
Absolutely.
that missing piece, but because, like you're saying, like, yo, I was caught up in my feelings, I
Yeah,
robbed my son of
absolutely.
having the experience of his mother
Yeah.
because you were so focused. Man, that's powerful,
Yeah,
Cole.
man. And here's the thing. I didn't even know I was doing it. I just knew that, man, and I would say things to myself. I'm like, man, if she would just, do this, and if she would just do that. And then, you got people in your life who you also share this story with. And so they give you their perceptions and their ideas about, well, yeah, she this and he that. And so before you know it, you have this whole team of people that's supporting the narrative you also created in your head that
Wow.
might
Yep.
not actually be as accurate as it
Yep.
should, right? But they love you, they love the child, and so they're supporting your narrative, but not really recognizing that your narrative has a lot of holes in it. And mine did, because I didn't know how to say, I'm a hold space for grace and mercy for both of us to figure this out together.
And
I just
man,
took on
that's
this.
good.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
listen, and the thing about it, in the counsel that you're getting, they have holes in theirs.
Oh my, bro.
Right?
Yeah,
So we're getting support from a bucket that have
yeah,
holes. We like, yo, I need you to
yeah,
get this water
yeah,
out of my boat because I'm sinking. And he
yeah,
brings his bucket, and his
yeah,
bucket has full of holes. It's like, bro, you can't help me.
yeah, yeah.
You
And
can't
not
help me.
only,
All
bro,
they doing is just complaining, like, oh, you shouldn't have put this water. You shouldn't have. You can't
yeah.
help me.
And the crazy part, man, is that before our son was born, her and I we were best friends.
Wow.
So it's like, how did we go from being best friends to one of us being mad at each other because there's not enough diapers in the diaper bag when I get the diaper bag back? Or you kept the socks that I brought over. Why I gotta bring more socks over? Like, how did we go from being
Come on,
best friends
Cole.
to now
Come
we
on.
can't stand each other because of the exchange of what's in the diaper bag? And it took me, I'm like, and I'm mad at her. Me and her, we beefing over stuff like that. And it's like, well,
That's good though, man. That's
how did we
good.
get there? And it was because we lost sight of the relationship that we
See,
had.
but the
And
crazy thing about it,
go
man,
ahead,
is
go ahead.
that the crazy thing about it is like what you're talking about is what typically what moms go through.
Oh
So
man.
here
Oh
you
yeah.
are, a
Yeah.
dad saying, yo, yeah, I'm a dad, but yeah, I've been there. I can tell you firsthand, partner,
Man.
what that's like, and you're speaking their language.
Yeah. 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 And that was also another thing that I think I take on too, is that I was a single mother. And without realizing it, there is a single mother narrative that the whole world supports, and that you cannot do wrong if you are a single mother navigating raising your babies. And so, and you better not say nothing about a single mother, and you better not even tell a boy or a boy raised by a single mom that his mama was her story wasn't accurate, right? Or her story wasn't true. So for me, that was my lens, that was my focus. I could understand the single mother plight. I'm like, oh yeah, this all. And when we would get together, me and the single mothers, we would be chatting, and then
Yo,
just chatting it up.
so they put you, they allowed you in the club.
And
They
listen,
allowed you in the club.
listen, listen. I got in the club for a number of reasons. Half of it wasn't because I was a part of, I'm a single dad. Look,
Come
there's
on,
some single
Cole.
folks in
Come
the
on.
room.
I'm
Folks is
glad you.
looking for them a daddy.
Yeah, listen, I'm glad you found yourself. I'm glad you found yourself. You like, I'm a mosey on up in here. Me and my boy.
Right.
I was just talking to my wife. It was this dude walking in the mall not too long ago. We was in Vegas, man. And this dude walked by. He was all sugar sharp. He had his son sugar
Yeah.
sharp. Hair all do. I said, my man around here trying to find him something. I'm like, he just like, yo, he trying to find him something. I'm hating. I'm like, yo, he trying to find him something. You know what I mean? She like, how you know? I'm like, you can just see how
Yeah.
he moving. He
Yeah.
using his son for
Yep.
bait. I'm like, he
Yeah.
using his son for bait, but yo,
Yeah.
it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
No, that's
And that's
funny, man.
that's a whole nother topic of
Yeah.
discussion that even me and my son was just talking about recently. But
He
to
like,
go
Daddy,
back
why
to
you use me? Why you
the,
use me?
oh man, yeah, it's been real. But I I really didn't know. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to bridge that, man. And I
Wow.
look back on it, and honestly, I think my son missed out. He missed out on having two parents who could have, had we found that bridge to come across. We could have parented him so well, in separate homes. But I think her and I just had a difficult time, with our own personal journeys as it related to being young parents, but not having mentors, not having an involved dad program, bro. That's another thing, man. If there weren't programs in 1994
Yeah.
that we could have gone to that could have helped walk us through like what it means to be a father, what
All they
does it
had
mean
was Lamaze
a
classes.
mom. Yeah, and that was it. So then we're left to sort of figuring this out on our own. But when I think
Wow.
back to it, man, the power comes the mentorship of entering into a space where there are men who are, elders who've experienced this, where you're going and kind of guide you, and really figuring out how do you communicate with your partner. How do you say, you know what, I'm frustrated, I'm mad at you, but let me also hold space to, be empathetic. Let me hold space to really understand you. Listen for understanding, not listening to be for a response to get back at you. There was a lot of blaming going on between her and I. And a lot of that, I think, I carry some of that too, because I could have did things differently. And I look back on it, man, my son is 26, but I'm like, man, how his mother and I communicated and talked through the stuff, things would have looked different. And everybody uses this thing, well, it's about, you got to put your differences aside and make it about the kids. That is much easier to say than it actually is to do.
Wow.
But I think once my son did see me interacting with his mom, whenever he saw me interacting with his mom, it was positive, and so I think that
But I
mattered
think
for him.
that's key.
That's
But
that was really important, that I was positive with her, so he never saw anything negative. I would always tell him, bro, your mother you know she truly does love you. And so he can tell you now that there has never been a time when he was growing up where I said anything negative about his mom, or it's like, oh, you look like yo mama, you act like, there was none of that language, because I
yeah,
knew how tender his heart was.
that's that's
So
im-
yeah,
that's important, man. Like, honestly, man, that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight. I think it's extremely important for us to know this, that it's important, and it makes a difference on how we interact with our spouses or our partners, right? It makes a difference how I interact with my wife, bro. It impacts and it makes a difference with my children. My children, now they're used to it, but they used to always been like, ew, ew, you nasty. But you know
yeah,
what? They know what true love looked like,
yeah,
right? They know what reconciliation looked like, right? So
yeah,
we never had a beef or argument in front of the kids, but we've had disagreements, right? And they saw how, in our disagreements, how
mm,
we spoke to one another, not calling
yeah,
each other out of our names. We have our disagreements, but we reconcile, but we processed it, right? Because not all the time, you never know when you are being a fire, right? It's one thing you at the crib and you like, oh, your house gonna catch on fire, so you prepared, right?
yeah,
But you never know when something may take place. So most of the time, if we have a disagreement, we are behind closed doors and we process that boy, and we're good, right? Um, I just tell you, man, my wife said something to me, this past weekend, and it triggered me
mm,
from some trauma that I experienced, just a few years ago, and just because of my response, yeah, and this is what's important, man. How I responded, I was responding from hurt and pain. I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't even say anything, but my lack of response made her feel rejected,
yeah.
right?
That's huge.
And so it was important. So even though what I was feeling was correct,
Yeah,
but she felt rejected by my non-response. And so we went through the whole process. We knew there was still some unresolved conversation around that matter. So the kids
yeah,
was gone today, and this is today, bro. Uh, and we brought it up like, hey, let's talk about the event the other day. And I tell people all the time, man, is that you need to have those tough conversations when things are going well. Don't wait till it's a beef. And so
Yeah.
because we were both in a good place, we both knew we need to deal with it. And we
Yeah.
talked about, so we was able to be diplomatic. I was able to see her perspective on how she was hurt, how she felt her way, and she saw how I felt my way. And after that, bro, we reconciled, no beef. We hugged, we kissed, we reassured each other, and we got back in the game. Tapped her on the
Yeah.
butt, tapped me on the butt, get in the game, right?
Yeah.
But those are the type of things that we would do in front of our children, right? We
Yeah.
we would show what reconciliation, what healing really look like. And I'm not talking about on some little house on the prairie and creating this false narrative on how you interact. No, that's how we try to teach our children how you engage in conflict with your spouse or with a significant other. Now, we understand rules of engagement in the world is somewhat different, and we're not naive to tell our children, like, hey, this is how it's going to be all the time. This is normal. But we want them to know that this is normal. This is how you can interact. But when you interact or experience that over there, this is how you navigate that too,
Yeah.
right? So it's important. I really believe it's important that we model the behavior that we want our children to walk out or live out. You know what I mean? Because children do as we do, not as we say.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Right. And we have to be the model for them. And that's the same thing, man. Working with, my dads, man, who are super dope. Um, you know, it's just crazy how I'm like, yo, I can't be a fraud. I can't be a public success, bro, but a private failure. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm like, yo, I need to reconcile. I need to deal with this. I let them know I'm still dealing with some unresolved issues. And I knew I was still processing, some stuff. So I didn't even act like it wasn't still there. Like it's still there and I'm healing. I'm healing. I'm not healed. I'm
Yeah.
healing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And my wife know that. You know what I mean? I know that and I'm not denying it, but I'm confronting it head on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
And
important, bro.
no, and Sean, I again, I always love talking to you, and as you're talking, I'm learning, I'm listening, not just because it's you, but I'm also listening not with my ears, but also with my heart, because as I'm listening to you, I'm also thinking to myself, my God, how many men don't have the language that you have? I mean, your vernacular and vocabulary. I mean, you're using words like reconciliation. Like what? Who
Yeah.
you do that in what? A relationship with her? You tripping?
Yeah.
What we doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I didn't know you could use you. That's what you were supposed to use that for.
Yeah.
We in the conflict, we beefing. I cuss her out, she cuss me out. We go back, we have some toxic love making, and then we back to we back on it.
Yeah.
And to think that there is a I'm trying to think of what I'm looking for, but there is a behavior pattern, or
Yep.
there's a method to resolving conflict
Absolutely,
with a
bro.
significant other. Is really necessary, and so
Absolutely.
I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, man, had I had that language as a 16, 17, 18, 19-year old dad, my life would be different too.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, man, there are fathers that become fathers at 35
Yes, sir.
and still don't know how to resolve conflict and process their own trauma and create a trusting relationship, so that when there is an issue that takes place, you know how to hold space for that. You know what I'm
Because there's
saying? So
because
that's powerful.
for many, Cole, it's more important to show who's right rather
Yeah.
than what's right.
What's right? Yeah. That's
Right.
good.
And that's what, a lot of us are after, that I
Yeah.
want to be right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, again, like this situation, bro, I was absolutely right. Right.
Yeah.
That's my trauma.
Yeah.
That's, that's, I don't like to say my trauma. Yeah, man, I want to own that boy, but that's something I'm processing through. Um, and I was right to feel that, but I knew that it was not just about me,
Yeah.
that it impacts her as well. So just because I was justified in how I felt does not make it right for me to make her feel that way.
Woo. Boom.
Right? And especially when you are part of that trauma,
Yeah.
when you played a role in bringing that trauma, I could easily say, well, you get over it. You was a
Yeah.
part of it. But I'm like, no, that doesn't give me right to try to hurt you.
Yeah.
I feel this way. Let me process this, but I need to make sure you healthy and whole over there too. Because it wasn't meant for that. So I need to make sure that you reassured. I need to make sure that you know that I love you. You need to know that I'm in the trenches with you. Right? I see you through his eyes the same way I pray and ask the creator to have you see me through his eyes. Because
Yeah.
I don't want you to see me as me. Because I have a lot of flaws. I need you to continue to see me through his eyes. So you see me with grace and love and compassion. Because I don't do all things right. The world may think it like, oh, he got it popping. Wifey,
Yeah.
no. I leave my drawers down. I tell her I'm gonna do something. I don't do it right away. You know what I mean? She been telling me to clean this darn couch for weeks, and I'm like, I'll do it this weekend. I do it tonight. I do it, bruh. I had like
Yeah.
about 10 I'll do it tonights, and I
Yeah.
finally did it this weekend. Right? I mean, so yo, we in the trenches together, man. Yo, we in the
Yeah.
trenches together, and I need my kids and my family to know that I love my wife, and I first have to be, I have to demonstrate that, boy. I
Yeah.
have to demonstrate it, hands down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Sean, man. Uh, you know, there are no words. I mean, I feel like everything that you said is truly spot on to helping um, fathers and just significant others, partners in the rearing of their children, recognize the importance of their relationship and how important it is for them when they are together that they model what they want their children to see or what they want their children to become. Because one of the other things I don't think we touch bases on, but the idea of how I treat my significant other could have an impact on the partners that my children pick as well. You know,
Absolutely.
and there's
Ooh,
layers to
ooh.
that.
Absolutely.
There's layers to that. And so
Absolutely.
being mindful of how I treat my daughter and how I treat my son is so important. And that also leads me back to this idea too that it really shouldn't be a difference in terms of how we treat our daughters and our sons. And I could be wrong because I've never been a father of
Hey,
a daughter, so I might be
and
wrong. So I'm gonna say that first. But what I've learned is that when you love your children, um, you don't love their gender or their sex. You
ooh.
truly love the spirit that's in them.
You know what?
Build out.
On our next segment, you know, I'm gonna invite one of my dudes, man. You know who I'm gonna invite? Uh I'm gonna invite one of my boys. He's a girl dad. He has
Yeah.
all girls.
Oh yeah.
All
Okay.
girls. Cause
Okay.
you a boy dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
you
got
gonna come from the
all
boy
of them.
dad. I'm gonna
Yeah.
invite my boy who's a girl dad, and we gonna get somebody. We gonna chop it up and talk
Let's chop it
about
up on that.
is there a difference, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
should there be a difference? So I'm gonna invite,
Yeah.
him, and we'll see what's gonna pop, man. And then the following week we gonna have another
Gonna
hot
get
and
dangerous.
heavy. So it's gonna be dangerous, man. So we'll
Yeah.
make it
I'm
happen, man.
loving that. I'm loving that.
All right. So before we get out of here, man, I forgot what our segment is.
Oh shoot! I forgot too.
Hey, so
We should have wrote that down.
I'm gonna make it up on the fly, and we'll go back to what it is. See, hey, that's what happens when you just hop out there, right? So I'm gonna so for right now, we gonna call it legit or not legit. All right, is this legit or not legit?
Okay.
I
Okay.
have one.
Okay. What you got, bro?
Yo, should my wife?
Uh oh.
I ain't gonna say my wife.
You done already said it, bro.
Yeah.
You done already said it. Talking about I shouldn't say my wife.
Pause. But
We
listen,
gonna let you.
yo,
We gonna
listen,
restart.
listen, but for real, yo, my wife she be getting upset with my daughters because they go in her closet and they take her clothes or they take her brush or they take some, they will take my socks, they'll take stuff from me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, just put it back. I like, talk junk, but not real junk. But she does not like it. My question
I
is that legit? Is that a legit beef or not legit? Me, I don't think
yo
it's legit. I'm like, yo, you should be
yo
honored that your daughters want your stuff.
no, that is a legit beef, and I support your wife
Oh.
100%. I have lost bow ties, my favorite bow ties to these dudes. My favorites, I know you into Tims. My favorite Tims, how you stuff them up? And I didn't even give you permission to take them out my closet. Oh yeah. No.
Really?
I love you too, bro. No.
Really?
You didn't stretched out my favorite hoodie. How the neck down here?
Yeah.
The neck up here, you got it down here. How? No, I support her.
Yo,
support her.
so that's a legit beef. So you say that's a legit beef.
Bro, I'm mad at you. You're mad. I ain't talking.
All right, let me hear what y'all got to say. Cole
Yes.
and my wife definitely say that is a legit beef.
That's beef.
I'm on the other hand like, it's not a legit beef. Man, I'm like, you should be honored that he want to wear your Timbs. Like, I want to be like that. I want to wear your hoodie. Just teach him how to wear your hoodie. You ain't teach him how to wear your Timbs.
Man, take me off this air, bro. I'm done. We done for the night.
So let me know what y'all think, man. Is that legit or not legit in the comments, man?
Man, these people. Okay.
All right, man. Yo,
I'm
until
done.
next time, man. We'll see you guys later, man.